I know. You can't really take me seriously. I get it. I can't take myself seriously. Anyway, this is part 2. If you haven't watched part 1, then what the heck are you doing? Pause this video right now. Actually, you should probably stop it. Just stop the video. Back out. Back up. Watch part 1. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. This is part 2. Now, if you have watched part 1, then enjoy the video. Mike, I have questions. What's that? What do you have such a big screen for? You don't even have mapping on it. Why is Google Maps on there? I don't really know. Ooh, there was a bump. I don't really know. But I think this monitor in Europe anyway can tie into different things. I think you can have mapping on there, but we don't anyways. Yeah. Now, though we might only have 133 feet of boom or whatever it was, I do believe you can get up to 160. There might even be a 180 option, I'm not sure, but that would be too big. I know that I really like large air drills and lots of horsepower and all that kind of stuff, but I think that would be too big. It wouldn't take our hills too well, and it definitely wouldn't take our speed too well. Great visibility though, great. Sloughs. Now in terms of auto boom, it's okay. Like, I don't know, I don't think it's as fast as the XTR system that Raven has. Now, I was told that it could be turned up. So then in which case then I wouldn't know. I can't say if I can't try it, but as of it is right now, as it stands, the Raven XTR auto boom system would be better in my opinion. I don't know how it compares with the Deere one because I haven't really run that one. Now I have ran Deere auto boom before. I would say they're probably similar, but I really miss the wheel. Well, Mike, what the heck is a wheel? Normally we have a wheel on that boom out there somewhere. Mike, why? I like it so that way when I come through a washout, maybe I'm going a little bit too quick, that wheel, it can hit ground long before the steel does. I really don't want the boom to hit the ground. I kind of want a wheel that can run around and hit the ground first, but that's not an option. So then I guess it is what it is. In terms of comfort, this does not have a leather seat, but you can get a leather seat. And I think I would just assume that you could get it heated and cooled. I would sure hope so. This is pretty soft. So this is actually super nice. This is probably the softest that I think that I've ever had. Like the case is really hard. I don't know about the Deere, I can't remember now. But by far this is the softest. What's beeping? What's going on? That's it, guys. We're done. We're done. Actually, it's end of road. I know. Another slew. So I do like the joystick where you can just, like the tractor, you just tap it like this and it keeps picking up your speed. You guys ready to get tripped out? Oops, sorry. I feel like my phone has like a guinea pig or a hedgehog or something tied to the top of it, because there's this big fuckball thing on top. I'm not sure what to think about it. It kind of freaks me out every time I look at it. Because you know I don't like hair, and yeah, my hair's getting pretty long. I don't like hair. And Nat has hair. Probably has dandruff. Probably needs to be shampooed. Don't like it. Nope. So speaking of the joystick, one con is none of these buttons are backlit. So they go off of probably that light there in the cab, unless there's a little red one somewhere around here. But anyway, I don't like that. You know, you're gonna spend $750,000 or $800,000 on a sprayer, which is just freaking crazy to think about that anyway. But anyway, it better have all backlit buttons. And I'm not a big fan. This reminds me of the Ideal Combine, Spent Combine. I don't like this plastic. It seems cheap. It's the same as the Combine that I run. I don't like that. Give me something that feels like I have more quality. You know what I mean? Give me quality. Give me lights that light them all up, like the deer. The deer has the best. The deer's got it going on in terms of cab. Like I always joke around, they only have one cab for everything, but they really did a really good job with their joystick. Yeah. Oh, and I should mention that these booms have turn compensation. Maybe not so much the booms, but, well, Mike, what's turn compensation? Well, that means when you turn, the outside is going faster, right? So that means it's applying more chemical on the outside than it is on the inside. So it does have the turn compensation, if you're unaware of that. So let's look at the monitor again for a second. So say you want to change the pressure, okay? So let's hold our hand over here, bring up this. Now look at that icon. Let's go for the middle one. So that one's 5. Here it is. So you can change your gallons per acre, or your rate, 10.5. And see how this is orange and it's lit up like that? Then you just take, sorry, I'm trying to do this while I'm driving. It's not very difficult. I mean, it is very difficult. This here's your dial. There's your pressure. Dial it back. There's your rate. So you can change your rate or your pressure. So let's just go over here to the pressure. And then there is numbers on here. You see the numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Let's type in 50. I am typing 50. There we go. And then I'm just going to hit this check mark. There we go. And then we're going to hit the home button on the top. There we go. And now it changed our pressure to 50, and it will hold 50. Okay. Now I'm going to just try to speed up a little bit here. I'm going to crank out a little bit. See, that's kind of what I thought. If you want to up your pressure more, then you could squeak out a little bit more speed. And that's what we're going to do because, yeah, I know our headland's coming. We're actually going to burn right through that. I'm going to pick up my speed a little bit because I know these guys want to get going. And typically when it's windy, I only want about 45 pounds pressure, but we can push it a little bit. All right, so we upped our pressure to 55, and we were doing about 9 miles an hour. So that's better than 7.5. There's the guys, just waiting patiently for me. I appreciate it. Hey, big thanks to the dealer, Canada Harvest West Center, because they're the ones who brought this thing down, and obviously they came down with Agrifac. Thank you for bringing it to me. I didn't even ask. They just brought it to me, and I'm like, awesome, thank you. I just swung my boom. Like right over their truck, and it actually made me a little bit nervous because I was like, ooh, I got a little closer than I thought I was going to get there. Anyway, didn't hit it. We're all good. We're good. Calm down. Calm down. That awkward time, we're like, hey man, thanks for bringing me the sprayer. Thanks for smack. Thank you. Sorry. I'm Canadian. I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah. So we've actually increased our pressure to 70 pounds pressure. Holy crap, Mike. Why? Because we're going with the wind. We can. So if you're not familiar, the more pressure you increase, the smaller your droplet size. And if you're in a wind, that's actually the opposite of what you want, because the wind will blow away a very small droplet size way easier than it will blow away a large droplet size. So 40 pounds pressure, 30 pounds pressure, 20 pounds pressure, 25, that wouldn't go much lower than 25, but that gives you a really aggressive, coarse droplet size. Obviously the best you can do with your caps. Just adjusting your pressure is only one thing. Your caps play a huge difference what type of caps you got back there, okay? But anyway, we can't do anything with our caps, but we can adjust our pressure. So I've got it 70 pounds, so I just dropped that droplet size to a lot smaller. And yes, it's far more susceptible to the wind, but we're going with the wind. So that's the thing. If you can, I like to go with a side wind. Every farmer is different. Every farmer does their own thing. They have their own ideas, and they're not wrong, okay? It's just, that's how they do it, and that's okay. That's okay. But I like a side wind. I don't want to go with the wind. I would prefer to go with the wind. I don't want to go against the wind, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. But I prefer side wind. Right now we got a bit of an angle. We got a side, and it's coming out. It's kind of coming out of the northwest, and we're heading south right now, so it's kind of blowing it this way. So you can actually pick up more speed. You can increase pressure, gain more speed. And normally you're not increasing your pressure and gaining more speed because typically you have the right caps on back there. But since we don't, this is what we're going to do. Hold on, here's another slew. We got to turn. Sorry about that. So anyway, when you go back into your menu, you see all these different sizes? That's all these. That's what these do. So just hit the, boom, drops it back to 45 just like that. So these are just presets. So that's kind of cool. There we go. So we're back down to 45 pounds pressure because we're going against the wind right now. But anyway, as I was saying, wind is a huge deal when you're spraying. It's a huge deal. You're always got to watch the wind. I think in Europe they have some countries where you can't spray if it gets too windy. Around here we don't have such things, and I'm so thankful for it. But you got to use your head. You got to be smart. You don't want to burn your neighbor, like I said. Now, you're not going to burn your neighbor right now because it's fall and everything's dead. Yes, I'm talking fast, but I got a lot of things to go through and I don't want to bore you, okay? You always want to work with the wind, so you're always adjusting your pressure. It's always good if you can go with the wind, but it's not as good going against the wind. Mike, how come you don't like going against the wind? Because if you have a 30 mile an hour headwind and say you're doing 20 mile an hour, I don't know, that's probably fast, but if you were doing 20 mile an hour, now you have a 50 mile an hour wind, right? You get it? You see where I'm going with this? That's fine. All right. Now you guys are basically professionals with wind. And wind isn't always your enemy, you guys. Wind can be your friend, especially when it comes to weaving in and out of power poles. I have a lot of questions when it comes to your caps back there. You said that you can get different caps, and yes, you can. You can get very coarse, I think like medium fine, and then like extra fine. So I think there's 4 different caps. Now, when you're in the Southwest and it's windy every other day, you're probably going to want to be around that coarse. Not overly coarse, but around that coarse. Now, there's a fine line, because if you're too coarse, that's awesome for wind. So that means you can spray in more wind because it's windy every day, and at the end of the day, you still have to get your job done. But it's a trade-off, because now you're kind of saying, well, if you have gigantic drop, if you're throwing tennis balls like this, well, you're only going to kill what you hit. But if you're throwing rice, you're going to get a lot better application, aren't you? You're going to kill a lot more stuff, right? So that's kind of the theory. It's a trade-off. Coarse droplets, awesome for wind, but maybe not the best coverage in the world. You got it? Now you guys are professionals. All right, so I'm back. Mike had to jump back in here with me again. This Mike that you guys have never met, to show me how to get back into this puppy. So that's what we had to do. We're going to switch it back into field mode. There we go. As you can tell, we are boomed up. And now we're going to lift it all the way up, kind of like the Pantera. Okay. And then we're going to hover our hand over here. And we're going to hit that icon, which happens to be number 3 here. We're going to bring up the boom page. And we're going to go right to number 6, because this has the speed unfold. Otherwise, we'd have to do 3, 6, and 9. We're going to go right to number 6. And then we're going to hold it for 3 seconds. And then we can let go of it. And then it will just do it all on its own. Okay. Now that's done. We have to unlock the center because the center is all locked up. So that's number 5 on here. Just tap that. And now we can lower it back down. Actually, you just have to tap it and it turns your auto boom back on. So there we go. We're ready to rock and roll this boat. And just like that, we're rocking. First round, baby. No, first rounds are not GPSed. They're not. There's no auto steer. You get too close to that fence, bad things are going to happen. And not necessarily just to the fence. Okay. We finally made a round around this field. It took long enough, so I just had to set up a new line. Wasn't very hard to do. I just had to hit this, then I hit this A1 here, and then I just basically punched in my coordinates. This is how you can center your line right here. You can hit that. Centering line means maybe you didn't quite line up for your, like I'm just literally just dropping a line. I intentionally overlap some. Whoops. Turning off sections here. I actually intentionally overlap, so that way I just make sure that I don't miss, because you're not going to over apply. So you don't have to worry about that. You just don't want to have to miss. So you can move your line around and center it here. And so anyway, This monitor is quite different, right? Because I'm not used to that monitor. But actually, I'm not used to any of these monitors. Anyway, we're spraying. We only got about 580 gallons left right here. And then that's it. And then they're going to road it north. Yeah, they're going to road it. They're going to take it to the... Well, if it drives 40 miles an hour, you might as well. That time when your GPS decided that it was going to... I don't know. The whole monitor shut off. And I'm like, why does it seem like I'm angling? I heard a beep beep. And I'm like, okay, it's probably telling me something. And then I started angling. And I'm like, this isn't right. And I looked and sure enough, my monitor shut off. No, not this monitor. This monitor just runs the sprayer. This monitor guides me. The thing is, he didn't show me how to fire this puppy up. How hard could it be? They have a calculator on this thing. Unexpected. Restart. Okay. Well, okay, so I'm very used to these types of things, you know. This is second nature to me. So, if this doesn't work, we'll shut the sprayer off. If that doesn't work, we'll kill the battery. If that doesn't work, we'll throw rice on it. If that doesn't work, we'll call John. Oh, man, okay. So the reasoning is for that is Rick, one of our guys, he actually was washing some semis and he had his phone in his pocket, and anyway, he got his phone wet, and so he threw it in rice and it didn't work. And then the theory is, because we run case sprayers, that we always have to cycle power, and then that actually trickled over into running Fendt combines. We always got to cycle power. Anytime we have issues, cycle power, kill the battery switch, try that, ready to go. And then so anyway, then John, I have his number. He like fixes stuff. He's like one of the lead engineers down in Heston for Ideal Combines. So we have three phases. When someone breaks down, whether it be a sprayer, a John Deere RX 4-track Fendt combine, this Agrifac sprayer, if something goes wrong, you got to do three things. Did you cycle power? Yes, I did. Because we'll call this over the radio. We all say this. Did you cycle power? Yes. Did you put rice? Did you try rice? Yes. Did you call John? Yes. Okay. It's broke. It's done. That's the end result. If you called John and it still doesn't do anything, it's broke. And yes, see, it's broke. All right, we powered that puppy up. We fixed it. We're ready to rock and roll. I see, but it has moved our line. I don't know if it moved the line or if it didn't move the line, and it just said that it did, and maybe I'm overlapping now. Nobody really knows, so I'm just gonna go in here. I'm gonna recenter, there, move my line, hit the auto steer button, there we go. Okay. Interesting. Anyways, that's how things go. That's how technology is, you guys. That is how technology works. Well, that's pretty much a wrap right there. 11 gallons left. So I think what we're gonna do, they've been waiting over in the corner for me. So I think I'm gonna run it empty, and then they're going to clean it out. Then we're gonna boom up, and we're out of here. That's it. Okay, we're ready.
Okay.
This is Mike, by the way.
Hello.
I kept saying that Mike was with me all the time, and he would show me something, and then I'm like, well, Mike's gone, and then I'm like, so is Mike really real, or is it a different Mike?
Fake Mike.
He's gonna walk us through this. What are we doing here, Mike?
So we're gonna spray out the boom while we're standing still here.
Okay, we're gonna flush out. We're gonna clean out.
We'll put a fake speed in. Our spray pump is running.
Okay.
We'll go over to our hydro page.
That's fancy.
Make sure our rinse tank is selected.
Okay. So the rinse tank was full, and we just dumped it into the main product tank.
Shoot, we forgot to turn the pump off.
Is that bad?
Yeah, it ran it all into the main tank. So
Okay.
I guess it's we're spraying while we're standing still here.
Okay. Yeah, we can just run it out.
Yeah. So
not running out very much. It's kind of peeing out. In fact, it's making me want to pee just watching that. Okay, I'll just go back over here.
So while we just build up our water pressure.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Our pump ran dry.
There it is. Now we're going.
So all the water from the rinse tank switched over to the main tank while we were sitting here.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah,
this will
it's
do a
bogging
half
out real
rinse.
good.
This will do a half rinse because we've still got clean water in our rinse tank, or in our main product tank now.
Okay.
So I just turned on the tank washers.
Oh, okay, so we're washing the main tank out.
Yeah, and we're spraying the boom out at the same time. So everything's diluted now.
You never had any issue with the plastic tanks?
No, we haven't. There's no hang-up points, no baffles, no tricky areas to wash in the tank. So, and very minimal rest liquid when the tank is dry, so it's very easy to wash it out.
And there is a sump in this tank somewhere, right? So that way it's the lowest point of contact.
That's right, yeah. Sump is the lowest point of the product tank, so we drain out completely. So all that's left is what's in the boom and the spray pump itself, which is approximately 30 liters of product.
Okay. I feel like I got to go to school to figure out all this. So these booms are recirculating.
Yes, so the booms are
I forgot to mention that.
So right now, because we have our main tank with clean water in it
Yeah.
running, this is going through the pump, through
Yeah.
the boom. We're spraying it out,
Yeah.
but we're also washing the top through the top of our tank.
Okay. Okay.
So we've probably done enough washing of the tank by now that we can just turn on the agitation valve for a minute, because that plumbing runs to the tank as well.
Okay.
So we'll clean that line out or dilute that line. And then we can turn our boom off. Just keep rinsing the top of the tank. And we can open up a valve that drains the product tank.
Okay, so we're just dumping it out of the tank now.
Yeah, we're just dumping it on the ground under the
Okay.
machine.
Okay. That's pretty nice. I don't even have to get out to open up that valve.
No, don't have to run out at all.
But you wouldn't want to hit that valve with a full load of spray on,
Correct. Yes.
unless you just quickly tried to shut it back off again.
That's right.
You can do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're cleaned out. Now, if I was going in, that seemed pretty quick. So if I was going to go back into something sensitive, I'd definitely probably do that a couple times, at least twice.
Yep. We've got a couple customers that are been running these machines for about 4 years now, that are using as little as 100 gallons to rinse out between products.
Okay.
Pretty diverse crop rotation on one farm specifically, so a lot of
Right.
changing chemicals. So typical procedure would be run 25 gallons from the rinse tank through the boom first.
Yeah. Yeah. And then spray that out.
Spray that out, and then run 25 gallons over from the rinse tank into here with the tank washers on,
Okay.
and then dump that out, and then
Okay.
run the remainder through the tank just to ensure that if there's
Okay.
any foam or anything,
Okay. Make sure it's out.
it's out.
Okay.
So, and then you should be sufficient at that
Okay.
point.
Cool. So we're just gonna finish dumping this out and then we'll boom up. Pump off.
Let's pump off.
All right.
I'll just let that drain out.
Cool beans. Do the boom up process. See if Mike can remember how to do the boom up process. I left it all the way up, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then we go over here.
We'll level it first.
All right. Level it. That's this button.
Yep.
Because we want to make equal marks, right?
Yep. So just hold it for about a second.
I'm gonna zoom in on this here. See if I can find this button again. Hold it for a second.
Yeah, just hold it halfway for a second. Yeah.
There we go.
And then click it once all the way. There we go.
There we go. Now we're level.
Yep.
Okay, now we can do the hovering thing. And then we can do, what is it? 5?
Yep.
Lock it first.
Yep.
I'm gonna lock it. Didn't really do anything, but I felt it move. And then we do 7, right?
Yep.
Hold it for 3 seconds. And it's on its own. All right, now I'll lower it down. Done. Awesome. Hit the home badge. We're good. All right, we're just pulling out on the road here. And again, road mode, you can only run pedal. That's it. You use this to shift it into whichever direction you want to go, and then it's pedal when it's road mode. And it's all auto. You can't give it any RPM, it's all auto. Here we go. So, a quick little summary and recap here as we're going. The sprayer was good. I really like the capacity of it. It actually has quite a bit of pep. It rides pretty good. It's hard to tell, you know, it's really hard to really test a sprayer when you do 2 loads and you're only going 7.5 mile an hour. Now, I really do appreciate them letting me give this thing a whirl, but typically, as you guys know, I do many loads with a sprayer. I typically do one video just as a walk around with you guys, then I'll do one like this one while we're spraying, and then I will put a pile of loads on it, and then I'll kind of do a summary at the end. Well, we're gonna have to try and do a summary at the end of 2 loads. So, summary is, it's a good sprayer. There's a few features that I would definitely change. I would want to be able to go joystick mode when I'm roading this thing, kind of like a Fendt tractor. I really like its speed. I like its capacity. Now, mind you, you can stretch up a Trident too, so you gotta give points where there's points can be given. I like the big screen. I just don't know what I can really use that gigantic thing for. Obviously, it's got the older, dated Claus cab on here. I'd like to see a little bit, I don't know, plusher. Maybe do away with the cheap plastic. But all in all, it's a good sprayer. It's pretty much going to come down the price tag, to be quite honest with you. I don't know where this thing is priced yet. Although I'm pretty sure it's going to be around that between 700,000 and 800,000 is my guess. And I do believe the Deere was around 7, and I think a fully loaded up, stretched up Trident is still probably under 7. So obviously it's going to be priced high is my guess. So that's my concern. That's my concern. I don't know. We're trying to get up the speed here. We're doing 36.4. We will get up there. It will actually coast over 40, so that's pretty cool. Well, thanks for riding along with me, guys. It's hard to do a review on something you just did 2 tanks with. Can't really be done. But obviously visibility is awesome. And it's quite quiet. Not as quiet as the Pantera, I don't think, and obviously not as quiet as the 4440 with the engine right in the back. But definitely a lot quieter than the Trident and the John Deere. Now, yes, you can get big booms on this thing, but you can also get large booms on for sure the Trident and the Patriot and the Apache, because you can get Pommy booms if you would like to. The only thing we haven't tried is the New Holland. I guess it's pretty much the only thing we haven't tried. We're going to quite get to 40 here or not. It takes a little while to get up. Oh yeah, we're going to get there. We're at 39.6. Oh, maybe we won't. Nope. Thanks a lot, you guys. I'm going to conclude this video. I don't know how long it is, but it's got to be pretty long. Remember, I typically do this in multiple videos. And we got one shot, and we just kind of just wung it. And it was fun. You guys are awesome. Adios, amigos.
He'll probably be putting the wheels in too.
Oh yeah, he'll probably put the wheels in. I just getting shifted off. It's going north to another farm, and I'm heading south to mine. Awesome. Alrighty. Peter's gonna give me a ride home.